CBS Sports presents NBA Basketball, America's Game. CBS Sports coverage of the NBA is brought to you by Honda, who invites you to experience the Accord 4-door at your local Honda dealer. And by Miller Lite. For great taste, there is only one light beer. And by Skin Bracer. It's skincare that feels good. Skin Bracer Aftershave by Menin. And by the U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
This is Bob Deal at the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia. It's another sellout, and they're here to see the Central Division matchup between the Chicago Bulls and the Atlanta Hawks. Now, of course, the two fellas you saw just moments ago speak for themselves. Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins. But, Bill Russell, as you look at this matchup and this ball game tonight, you mentioned that a couple of the best young power forwards in the league might really have a lot more to do with the outcome of the game, or certainly make a big contribution, and that's Charles Oakley and Kevin Willis. First of all, Charles Oakley of the Bulls.
Well, Charles Oakley has taken full advantage of playing with Michael Jordan. The things that he's done and been doing for a couple of years now have important impact on the game. He does a good job of rebounding and playing defense and setting picks. And so he's a very effective player for Chicago Bulls.
And one of the hottest young players for the Atlanta Hawks of recent in the last few games, scoring 20 points, nearly 12 rebounds a game, is the 7-footer, the power forward from Michigan State, Kevin Willis.
Yes, Kevin Willis has had a very interesting career. He's improved steadily and spectacularly, you might say. Earlier this season, they thought maybe he'd be a superstar. And then it seemed as though he may have backed off, but he really didn't. He was just getting his game together, and it's a more mature game now, and he's a very effective player, and I expect in the next year he will be a true superstar.
Now, the Atlanta Hawks are very big and powerful up front, but when they play the Bulls, they don't rebound very well. Only 28 and 29 rebounds, respectively, in their last two games. Why do the Bulls, smaller, get out-rebound the Hawks?
Well, there are two reasons. First of all, height has very little to do with rebounding, because most of the rebounds are taken below the height of the rim. And second, matchups. It's an unexplained thing, but a style of play, some teams can out-rebound you, and another team will out-rebound them, and then you out-rebound that team.
Well, it'll be interesting to see tonight if the Hawks can get back on the rebounding track. The Hawks are going for win number 7 in a row. The Chicago Bulls have won 10 out of the last 14. We'll be back with the opening lineups and the tip-off. But first, back to our studios in Atlanta and Charlie Neal.
Okay, thank you very much, Bob. Coming up at halftime, scores and highlights from around the NBA. The Atlanta Hawks, like the Chicago Bears of a year ago, have a music video. We'll show you the making of that video. Plus an ode to two of the most exciting players in the NBA today. I'm talking about Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins. All that and more coming up at halftime, and Bob and Bill will be back with tonight's starting lineups in just a moment.
For the Chicago Bulls, the starting lineups at forward: Gene Banks, Charles Oakley. At the center, Dave Corzine, Michael Jordan, of course, and the point guard is John Paxson. The Bulls are coached by Doug Collins in his first year. For the Atlanta Hawks, it's Willis and Wilkins at the forwards. John Koncak, the second-year player, filling in for Tree Rollins, starting at center, his 7th game in a row, as a matter of fact. And the shooting guard is Glenn Doc Rivers. The point guard is Rivers, I should say. And Randy Whitman is the shooting guard. There are refs tonight, Bernie Fryer and Jack Madden. And we're ready to get underway from the Omni. It's a sellout, 16,522. These two teams are tied in the series record. This season, the Bulls lead 2-1. The Hawks won here. The Bulls have won in Chicago.
You're saying that both these teams travel, they don't travel that well?
Apparently not. The Bulls just played yesterday, by the way, in Chicago, beating Dallas. Wilkins missing, and the rebound going to the Bulls.
Well, he had to get that one out of his system to get ready to play.
In the 3 games, Jordan leads Wilkins in scoring with a total of 109 to 105. Nice pass to a wide-open Dave Corzine.
And that's one of the good things that Charles Oakley has developed as part of his game.
Willis off the glass, Kevin Willis. He's been scoring about 20 points a game of recent.
The two guys we just mentioned have had impact on the game already.
Oakley 34 with the ball right now. Kevin Willis two that Bill Russell's talking about. Corzine down low to Banks. High Archer gets it over Dominique Wilkins.
That'll bring rain.
4-2 Bulls. Opening moments from the Omni in Atlanta. Willis, jump hook. Rattles it home. Now, Bill, your crystal ball was working well as Oakley and Willis have both had impact so far. Jordan with the ball now, playing with a sore right hip. He had to leave the game twice against Dallas yesterday. He's also playing with a head cold. Corzine's open off the glass.
It must be soft glass in this building. Everybody's using it.
Opening moments of play, first quarter, 6-4. Bulls lead.
I was talking to Doug Collins this afternoon, and he was saying that he likes to play an up-tempo game, but not with these guys. He wants to play more of a slow-down game and make them play half court because he knows that they can run a full 48 minutes with the Hawks.
Oakley beat Willis down the floor. A good pass from John Paxson, and now it's 8-4. Chicago out by 4 early in Atlanta. The Atlanta Hawks on a streak.
He feels the major difference is when you go to the bench. The Hawks are a lot tougher in a full-court game with their bench. Little foul someplace there.
Foul away from the ball. And it's Oakley makes that John Paxson was holding away. There's Doug Collins, first year as a head coach in the NBA.
Interesting, the two referees. Bernie Fry used to be a player, which is rare. I mean, a player going to referee.
Gene Banks in the rebound. The Bulls out rebounding the Hawks already once again, particularly on the defensive board. Jordan in the middle, he's missing. But he gets his own rebound to reverse. Corzine was asleep, didn't see the pass. Here's Banks. Off the back of Randy Whitman, it'll belong to Chicago with a new 24-second clock. The Bulls leading 8-4.
Nobody wants it. And the other referee, all the local fans are all upset because I think 9 of the last 10 games he refereed here, the Hawks lost.
Talking about Jack Madden. And it's 10-4.
And only local fans will notice that kind of stuff.
Yes,
that's local fans everywhere, though. Good move by Doc Rivers. Good penetration.
And Jordan opened the scoring with 2. Wilkins still hasn't scored for Atlanta.
And here goes Whitman down the middle and early release because Corzine might have gotten to it if he hadn't released it so soon. Good move by Doc Rivers.
There's Mike Fratello, Coach of the Year in almost everybody's poll last year. 4th year with Atlanta, 39 years old. He's also, you see the nice dress, the blue coat. He's a vice president of the Hawks.
Vice president in charge of vice.
And coaching and building a young franchise. This team on a streak. They won 6 in a row, going for 7. They won 7 out of the last 8. It is now 10-7. Bulls, 8:47 to go. First quarter. Oakley against Willis. Quick turnaround.
Now, when we look at the half-court game now, there's very interesting matchups on the defense as far as I'm concerned. Jordan will not guard Whitman because they run him in too many pitches, and the coach doesn't want him to take that beat. Then you have Whitman on him. And what you try to do with a guy like Jordan is make him play defense as much as possible, maybe take some of the punch out of him.
Jordan and Doc Rivers are really battling down low. Doc Rivers is on Jordan right now. They were really struggling. Now the double team on Jordan. Shot clock to 7. Paxson from long range. Rebound Wilkins. Hawks running. It's Wilkins against the world. All the way. Dominique Wilkins. Yeah, the world was undermanned with only 3 players back. It is 10-9. Hawks trail by 1.
See, with guys like Wilkins and Michael Jordan, the double team doesn't help a lot of times because they play such a vertical game, and now the double team helps horizontally.
Jordan comes off the screen, gets his 4th point now. 12-9, Chicago. Rivers can hit it from there. Does. Doc Rivers, averaging 13.5 points a game.
Would I think that you've seen a lot of Hawk games?
Yes, as a matter of fact, Oakley with the lay-in. It's interesting all the times on the road. Here's Willis open over Corzine. And Doc Rivers rebounding. And the Hawks now getting back into the rebounding game. At one point, It was Chicago 5, Atlanta nothing on the rebound board, but the Hawks now have 3 rebounds. Paxson, good long-range shooter. It is 16-13 Chicago Bulls. Dominique Wilkins missing, rebound Oakley.
Dominique's been sort of a slump the last 6 or 7 games. He hasn't shot well. He scored, but he hasn't shot well. He's only around 40% the last 6 or 7 games.
We'll be back in just a moment to the Omni in Atlanta with 6:28 to go. First quarter, 16-13 Bulls.
Now, if you take a look at Michael Jordan here, it shows you what it means moving without the ball. Now, here's a pick. He's going to run Whitman into another pick here, right here. That's how he got open. Now, that's a good example of good movement without the ball. Now, what Whitman just went through is what the Bulls are trying to avoid with him, with Michael Jordan. They're trying to keep Michael Jordan from having to run into that kind of stuff.
Let's take a look at the TBS efficiency rating. As you know, it's the positive contributions minus the negatives for the players. And anything above a 20 is very good. Below 10, not so good. Let's look at Jordan and Wilkins, since they're the stars of this game here tonight. First of all, Michael Jordan has a very good efficiency rating, and he leads Dominique Wilkins 18-9 to 13-1. Jordan leads his team, and this is a statistic a lot of people don't know about, in block shots and steals. You think of Jordan with his 37-3, but he is a very...
He's an outstanding player in a lot of ways that because he came from he's very well coached in college. And so he's fundamentally a very sound player and a young man with just great ability.
And because of the Hawks, who have a superior team in most other positions to Chicago, Dominique Wilkins not asked to do as many things as Jordan.
And what Dominique has done, he's carried his team up until the last part of last season, and the team was able to help pick up and help carry itself. And when you try to carry a team, you're not going to be as efficient as a player that's part of a real good team. I think that he's a much better player now than he was 2 years ago.
3 Rollins now in for contact. Wilkins spinning off the glass, tipped, missed, and then stripped away, but Rollins is fouled. 3 Rollins, coming off a broken right toe, has been increasing his playing time about the last 3 games.
Now here's that good shot from Dominique, almost a good shot. And here's Speed staying with it, and there's the foul.
Gene Banks. Check that. They gave that foul to Dave Corzine, not Gene Banks. It's Dave Corzine. Let's check the Chicago foul situation. Oakley with 1, Corzine 1. And Paxson has 1 foul. And 17-15 now. 6:11 to go first quarter.
You can always tell the foul on. That's the guy that grimaces. Who, me? I didn't draw blood. Why is they calling on me?
Oakley out high, out of Virginia Union. Second-year player, had a real impact. Went to Cleveland, but then Keith Lee came to Chicago, which was a nice deal, as Michael Jordan hits it again. Michael Jordan now with 6 points. Dominique Wilkins, by the way, 2, if you're keeping track of their individual scoring duel. Wilkins comes back, and he has 4.
That was a pretty good shot.
Lead. Beauty.
Now, with a guy like Michael Jordan, you're not going to stop him one-on-one. And what you should do is try to make him have to work for everything he gets. But you shouldn't double team him too much unless you're going to double team him early and make him give it up. If you don't, you end up with guys shooting layups.
Off the double team, Jordan hits Oakley. Now to Corzine into the Banks with only 2 seconds to go on the shot clock.
Banks knew what to do with it. And so a guy like Michael Jordan, if you don't double team him the right way, he can really hurt you in a lot of ways. And his efforts will generate 60 or 70 points instead of 30 or 40, which if you play him one-on-one and make him get no assists.
Doc Rivers missing. Bulls rebounding and running, leading by 4. Paxson to Jordan against Doc Rivers. They've cleared the side, but Whitman's ready to double team, and there he comes. He leaves Paxson. Paxson gets the ball from Jordan, and that's what he does so very well.
And that's what hurts you when you do that. And you see that double team, he was able to get a good pass off and a good shot. And he gets an assist there, and that's when I made my generating points, which you got to cut down on. Make him work to get his one-on-one, and his efficiency rating will go down also if you do that.
Certainly underrated for his passing ability. A great scorer, has 4 assists a game. They could have many more if he wasn't called on to shares to carry such a burden. Blocked from behind by Jordan. He started this break, but then Whitman broke it up, and here comes Banks. Doc Rivers back. Hawks had
good
three
hustle
players
defensive
back.
for the Hawks.
You bet. Wilkins off the glass. Dominique, he has 6.
That's a very important shot to make because that compounds the impact of that good defensive play.
Well, the scoring battle already underway in the first quarter. Jordan with 6, Wilkins with 6. Doc Rivers, however, leads all scorers with 7. 23-19 Chicago. Paxson open again. Paxson is really filling it up. Now, Mike Fratello at practice today, Bill, was talking to the teams about if you got to leave someone you're doubling, obviously somebody's open, and Paxson's their guy. They were hoping he wouldn't be hitting that well from a Hawks point of view, but he's filling it up.
When the defense rotates, you got to make sure that you rotate enough that Paxson is covered. So he's not one of the guys that's left open, because there's always going to be a guy left open when you double team.
And Kevin Willis with a foul, battling Oakley in the backcourt. Paxson 3 for 3 from the perimeter. You don't see this very often. We talked about this matchup. We didn't think we'd see it in the backcourt.
Now this is not a good foul. Backcourt with Oakley with the ball. The best you're going to come up with is a foul, and that's not very good.
Look at that, Chicago shooting the lights out, 12 for 17. Hawks at 50%, 8 of 16 for the Bulls. By the way, that's 71% early on. Tipped away by Rivers. It will belong to Chicago. 9 seconds on the shot clock. End of the ball game. Cliff Levingston. Kevin Willis gets a rest. 52 Levingston for the Atlanta Hawks. He's really the Hawks' 6th man.
And so far in the half-court defense, the Hawks have been just a little slow, a half a step slow in their rotation. So they've not come up with the real good defensive plays as often as they maybe could have if they had a little better time.
Paxson with a fake out high. Oakley bought his own teammates fake, threw the ball down low before Paxson could get to it. A turnover. It's 25-19 Chicago. 3 minutes to go, first quarter. Hawks ball. Off the screen, Whitman into Rollins. He's fouled.
I think that when you make passes to a guy on the move, very rarely should the pass be below the waist. And if you're going to be below the waist, it should be a bounce pass with reverse spin on it so it's going to jump up in his hands.
There's a second foul on Oakley. 25-19 Chicago, 2:56 to go. First quarter from the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia. Join the NBA family's anti-drug campaign by wearing a Don't Foul Out pin. Send $1 in a self-addressed stamped envelope to Don't Foul Out, P.O. Box 5418, New York, New York, 10185. 2:56 to go in the first quarter. 25-19. Chicago leading a sellout crowd. 16,522 at the Omni. The last 3 times these teams have met, the Bulls have won 2. The Hawks have won 1. But most people are interested in this. And you see that Jordan Wilkins, by the way, if you add those up for Jordan, it's 109 points. For Wilkins, 105.
Well, you know, that can be a misleading situation. The Hawks are not a better team when Dominique gets that many points. But the Bulls are a better team when Jordan gets that many points, because the Hawks have guys like Whitman and Willis and Doc Rivers, are guys that can put the ball in the hoop. And if Dominique shoots too much, he doesn't help them as much as when Jordan shoots, you might say, too much.
And Brad Sellers, the youngster from Ohio State, is in for Charles Oakley. Wears number 6. He's 7 feet tall. Started at center for a while, but coming off the bench of recent. Corzine's moved back in there for the veterans experience. Here's Sellers from long range. Tipped away by Tree Rollins.
It'll be on Dave Corzine. Little hand in the back there.
You bet, loose ball foul. Corzine picks up his second. Oakley also has 2 for Chicago.
That's the grimace I was talking about. See, some guys smile when they grimace, but...
And we're about to get another substitution. Granville Waiters, also from Ohio State, as a matter of fact, but he's been around the league a little bit longer. Coming in, he's 6'11". Corzine gets a rest.
He also started a while earlier in the year, first of the year when the season was young and
been rattling. They've been playing well with this lineup, starting Banks, Oakley, Corzine, Jordan, Paxson. Interestingly enough, they're getting good time off the bench from Sellers and Waiters. So whatever works.
It's very important to get guys with the attitude it takes to come off the bench. They're not disgruntled or anything, but happy to play in that situation. It's very important to have guys like that.
Time remaining in the first quarter. Bulls lead by 4. Nice bounce pass. Stripped away from Jordan by Randy Whitman. Nice defensive play by Whitman.
Now here goes Jordan down the middle. Now, that was a desperation play by Whitmer because Jordan had him.
And Jordan now with 8 points as he hits from the perimeter. 27-21. Bulls leading the Hawks with 2:02 to go first quarter. Oh, that basket will not count. There was a foul away from the ball against Atlanta.
Moving pick.
Tree Rollins. First personal of the game.
He only moved it about a yard.
That is a moving pick if Tree Rollins moves into you. 240 pounds, 7'1". Sadell Threet entering the ball game. And Mike McGee coming in for the Atlanta Hawks. So there's Mike McGee. Threet with the ball now with number 3. And by the way, Threet has the Rick Barry-itis tonight. He has laryngitis.
He can't talk except if he gets open. I think he can yell for the ball.
I bet he can. Just like the aforementioned Mr. Barry, who's with us tonight but not speaking. Gene Banks bumped by Rollins, no whistle. Now McGee can't control it. It'll be Bulls ball. Both these teams had been running the transition game very well and finishing effectively until then.
On that last play by Glenn Rivers, good vision, good intentions, bad results.
Bulls have 5 breaks on 8 points. Hawks have 9 points out of 6 breaks. Here's Sellers. Second straight perimeter miss for Brad Sellers, the rookie from Ohio State. 6-point Bulls lead. Minute 15 to go.
You know, I think that Michael Jordan maybe really not extend himself on his jumps because he's passed off a good pass. That's a good pass.
Wilkins misses, but Rollins with the rebound and jam.
As I say, I think that Jordan is passing off a lot more on the jump shots than he normally would because he could get over those. So he may be favoring his leg a little bit.
Yes, he has a hip pointer suffered against Dallas yesterday. Off the glass, Michael Jordan.
Look
Anybody
what I
else?
found. It must be soft glass here. Must be soft glass.
He called it. I heard him say bank shot.
No, he was saying banks get open.
43 seconds to go in the quarter. Wilkins with the penetration and the finger roll. And missing loose ball foul. It's going to be against the Hawks.
Must be 34.
The man who's arguing is Cliff Levingston. Let's see if that's who they call it in. No, it's Tree Rollins. Levingston thought he was guilty, though. John Konkak set to come back into the ballgame, by the way. That's the second personal on Tree Rollins. We have 38 seconds to go first quarter. 29-23, Chicago. There's John Konkak. Second year from SMU. 7th straight start. Hawks are undefeated since Konkak's been starting them, but his agent is keeping track of that, don't you?
Well, if he's from SMU, he's not going to be able to play football for a while.
I knew this was coming. Brad Sellers finds Threet over Konkak. Elle Threet came here from Philadelphia. The Bulls for Steve Coulter. And Threet has played well. Chicago on the bench. Plays about 20 minutes a game. 10 seconds to go in the quarter. See the time in the lower right. 31-23 Chicago. Hawks in need of a basket here.
Now, did Treat get pushed or did he fall? But it looked like downfield blocking.
Seems to be shaken up, as a matter of fact.
The one thing the Bulls have really improved on this year. Let's take a look at this replay. He looks like he tripped over his own man, Brad Sellers. One thing the Bulls have really improved on this year has been their defense. They don't score very much. If games over 115, 120 points, they're hard-pressed in those kind of games. So they like low-scoring games because they can play defense with anyone, but they don't think they have the versatility to play a wide-open game when you get 125, 130 points.
So Dale Threet picks up the personal. That was the 5th team foul penalty situation. That's why Rivers at the line.
And he got his hand stepped on for good measure on top of everything else.
So Dale Threet holding his left hand right now as he talks to Mike McGee. And Rivers gets them both. There's 4 seconds remaining in the quarter. Backcourt pressure from Atlanta. Granville Waiters missing from very long distance. At the end of 1, it's Chicago 31, Atlanta Hawks 25.
TBS sports coverage of the NBA is being brought to you by Honda, who invite you to experience the Accord DX 4-door at your local Honda dealer.
From the Omni in Atlanta, sellout 16,500. Bill Russell and Bob Neal with you. 31-25, the Bulls leading. Reminder, and coming up at halftime, Charlie Neal will be along with all the scores, highlights, and news from around the NBA tonight. An ode to Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins. A look at the beauty of those two players set to music, plus the making of the Atlanta Hawks video. Have you seen that yet, Bill?
No. After I watched the Chicago Bears, I thought I'd square off of videos for a while.
If you've seen the Bears music video, you've sort of seen the Hawks. None of the Bears have the moves of Dominique Wilkins. Unfortunately, their highlights weren't exactly as exciting as this one. Second quarter just underway. 3. Rebound McGee. To Atlanta. LA got the rights to Billy Thompson. Draft day. Doc Rivers, Mike McGee in the backcourt. It's Koncak, Levingston, and Willis. Wilkins out of the ball game at the moment for the Hawks. Rivers missing badly. Has 9 in the game, though, and here comes 3. Nice pass to Sellers. Mike McGee rebounding well for the Hawks. Levingston. Nice finesse over Waiters.
And Waiters is speaking to the referee. The referee's not speaking back, fortunately.
31-27. Hawks trail by 4. 1 minute elapsed in the second quarter.
Almost a good defensive play.
Mike McGee's come in here playing very well. You know, he's been playing on a sore right knee. Missed 5 games. It looks like his knee is feeling pretty well. It's going to belong to the Atlanta Hawks. Elston Turner, by the way, is in for the Bulls.
He passed that pain on to Turner on that play. There's Gus Williams.
The Wizard to Mike McGee. Gus Williams, number 1. McGee with a pick and roll to Willis. And a jam.
Excellent run, give and go. Excellent.
And it's a 2-point game. The Hawks had trailed by 8.
If you don't time that play just perfect, it doesn't work. And it really doesn't work.
Charles Oakley with 2 fouls is back in the ball game. Waiters, number 3 is 3. And the perimeter shots not falling for Chicago, and the Hawks defensively rebounding. Williams with the ball away.
Good hustle. Chris Levingston stayed with that one.
Fratello calling plays. You see Gus Williams looking over his right shoulder. Gus with the play now. Hawks can tie or go ahead if they choose a 3-pointer. Gus Williams penetrating, finding a stone wall. Levingston, better luck off the glass. Cliff Levingston.
22nd timeout by the Bulls.
And the Hawks have been going to the boards with enthusiasm. It's tied at 31. 9:47 to go in the second quarter.
I asked Kevin Willis, so why are these guys out rebounding you guys so often? He says, I don't know, but they're not going to do it tonight.
And in fact, you're looking there at 2 of the Turner Broadcasting executives. On the left is Bob Wessler, on the right, Ted Turner.
Let's take a look at this under the board work. Cliff Levingston staying right with it. And eventually coming up with it.
Phil, just reminds me of what you said on our open, that it's not necessarily height, not necessarily anything else, particularly if you have enthusiasm and position and technique.
Position is the first thing, and then enthusiasm.
Yeah, enthusiasm without position. What is that? Something about liberty and the pursuit of enthusiasm without position. There you go. Points off rebounds. And you see the Hawks out by 6. Tied at 31.
So rebounding determination would be probably the best word to use. You have, I think Moses Malone is probably faster example of that.
Oakley.
Air ball.
Shot a 10-footer about 12 feet. Hawks can take the lead. They had trailed by 8 points in the first quarter. Willis against Oakley. Off the glass, Kevin Willis. Now the Hawks have their first lead. It's by 2. Kevin Willis has 8 points. Elston Turner with the feed to Granville Waiters to 3. Brad Sellers calling for it, but Koncak.
Well, he shot about 4 times over there by himself. Hasn't come up with anything. So they say, well, you may call, but your call will not be answered. illegal defense, isn't it?
It is against the Atlanta Hawks' first one. It'll be the ball out of bounds on the near side, and Corzine comes into the ball game for Granville Waiters. Well, the Hawks bench, it came in and played quite well.
And they call that on Mike McGee, kind of got away from his man defensively. Mike McGee's operating under a lot of pressure. He's been at it 3 or 4 minutes and hasn't shot yet.
And he is a shooter. Corzine. Rebound McGee.
He's got a lot of
rebounding.
He's doing a good job on the boards, but that won't suffice.
That's his 3rd rebound. Here's contact with the baseline. Oakley. Well, that's why he's 2nd in the NBA in rebounds. That's 12.5 a game. What a powerful rebounder. 6'9", 245 pounds. Hawks with a lead by 2.
And Brad Sellers tries it again.
They're not going to pass it to him next time he's open either. Nice feed to Willis. And he may have moved the basket there. We may have to check that.
What are they going to call here? Let's take another look at that.
Willis grabbed the rim because he did not want to get undercut by Elston Turner, I think is what they
see here. What's well, they're calling something. I see the hand up of the referee.
We're going to
used to be a
we'll
technical foul. It used to be a technical foul for holding the rim, but they've changed that rule.
They called it a turnover. It was not a foul because he was protecting himself as Oakley scores. So it was simply a turnover, not a foul. Right. Tied at 33, 7:43 to go, 2nd quarter. Willis double team. Shot clock to 10. Willis really getting pounded down there by Oakley. Gus Williams dribbled it right out of bounds.
Yeah, he made the corner, but the ball didn't.
Here comes Michael Jordan back into the ball game. He has 10 points. He's 5 for 7 from the field. By the way, in case you're keeping up with the Wilkins scoring battle, Wilkins has 6 and Jordan has 10. And this rebound to Kevin Willis. Willis' first rebound of the ball game. Leading rebounder for the Hawks, Mike McGee, with 3.
You know, Gordon, guarding a guy like Michael Jordan can be very, not only embarrassing, but can be physically painful because he runs into just a stack of picks. Boy, he can hold nice hands there. Jordan
leads his team in steals. Behind the back to Oakley. Michael Jordan with a steal and an assist on the same play.
The defensive play was good hands. The offensive play was great imagination.
McGee had tried to post Jordan. The Hawks waited just a bit too long to try to get him the ball because Jordan had turned the corner and he stole it behind the back. And the foul as Concact shoots either Sellers or Corzine. It is on Brad Sellers. We have a timeout on the floor with 6:35 to go first half. The Bulls lead by 2. The Detroit Pistons leading the Central Division of the NBA. Hawks are a half a game back. They'll be at New York and Patrick Ewing tomorrow night. And my friend Bill Russell will be there with Skip Carey in the Big Apple. Is Skip up there getting the town ready for you tonight?
Oh, yes. He's closing it down tonight, so we'll have complete control tomorrow. Now, here's another look at that play when Michael Jordan shows the good hands there. It comes out anticipation, like good hands again. Now, this is a great imagination, not only to be able to do it physically, but to think about it. Just to come up with that concept, to try it.
And he held his mouth just right, I thought, for the camera shot. Turnovers, by the way, Atlanta 6, Chicago 3. 2nd quarter, the Bulls are only shooting 22%. They're 2 of 9. Thus, the Hawks come back to trail by just 1 point, 35-34, with Concac at the line. Sellers, by the way, had the foul prior to the timeout. And we're tied at 35. 3, Jordan in the backcourt. Banks, Oakley, Corzine. Up front, Oakley. He's having himself a pretty good night himself. That's 10 for Charles Oakley to match Jordan's point total.
But Jordan gets a lot of his in the last quarter, so he's just warming up.
McGee from the perimeter. He'll be happier now.
Yes, now Mike's back in his element.
6th year out of the University of Michigan. Here's 3-2 Banks. And got a nice bounce.
That's sometimes better than being good.
Banks has 7. He's been playing well of late. As a matter of fact, the Bulls' record has improved since Banks came on. Started the last 15 games. Wilkins back in for Atlanta, as you see, was stripped away. Dominique just keeps working. Gets that nice heavy spin bank shot.
You might say Dominique sometimes is single-minded. He made up his mind to get that shot off.
He has 8.
And in.
10. Dominique only 4 of 9 from the field. That's matching his recent shooting slump percentage. Jordan against Rivers from long range. Got the good bounce, the shooter's bounce. Out of bounds, it'll belong to Chicago. Crowd didn't like it. At the conclusion of tonight's game, Bill and I will be selecting the Miller Lite player of the game. 19 seconds on the Chicago shot clock.
Let's see if we can see how good a call the referee made. There's a penetration by Jordan. No, we couldn't see exactly.
The answer is no, we can't see it. We tried, though. Shot clock
close.
to 10. Jordan again. Stripped away by McGee, but he fouled him.
You see the grimace on McGee's face?
The foul is on Mike McGee. His first. The team first.
Mike Fratello, what a great job he's done coaching the Hawks in his 4th year. It's tied at 39. Jordan against McGee. Jordan ineffective from the perimeter in this part of the ball game. Rivers all the way, misses the layup. He's fouled.
And that's the toughest kind of fast break to stop when you get a good rebounding guard and they get the rebound on the move. And guys are playing good defense. That means they're in motion. Then the fast break is really hard to stop.
Paxson picks up his 2nd foul.
Because the key to good transition basketball is that defensively you have to be on the move, and offensively you have to be on the move. Especially defensively, you have to be playing with your feet and not your hands. If you're playing with your feet, then you are in motion. All you have to do is change direction. That gives you an extra half step on the offense when they try to change the defense.
Rivers playing very well tonight. Yes, I do. I do. I wrote it down. I'll read it back in the 3rd quarter as though it were my idea. Rivers with 11 points and 4 assists. He's having himself a fine basketball game. Hawks by 2, 4:34 to go first half. Along with Bill Russell, this is Bob Neal. Barry with a sore throat tonight.
On the pass off. Now Oakley feels bad because if it had been Rick, he would be shooting 2 free throws because he would have been going to the hoop. He always showed me that. When in doubt, shoot.
2nd personal on Kevin Willis.
And if you ever hear the whistle, fire the pill.
Paxson off the screen. Rivers fell down.
Good push off. McGee pushed his own man to get that one.
McGee with his 4th rebound all of this quarter. Hawks can go up by 4. Gene Banks doing a fine job defensing Dominique Wilkins, but Kevin Willis hits it over Oakley, and Kevin Willis has 10. Something to watch for is the Banks-Wilkins battle. Wilkins guarding Banks also. Jordan around everybody, shooting over contact, and Michael has 12.
That was sort of a mismatch when they got the switch.
Gene Banks matches up well with Jordan. Banks is 6'8", 225. Jordan 6'8", 200. Here's McGee. Would have been for 3. Another rebound for Oakley. He's got 8 rebounds already. Banks blocked by contact. Here comes the break. This could be good.
It is good.
Kevin Willis from Dominique Wilkins. The Hawks lead by 4. 3 minutes, 19 seconds to go in the first half. We've got a good one in Atlanta.
Here's Gene Banks working defensively on Dominique. Now this pass, if he had lobbed that pass right away, because there's no weak side defense, Dominique would have been open. As it is, here he shot the short shot. They come up empty. Now the other end, here's Dominique on the fast break. And I think Oakley expected him to shoot it because he didn't check Kevin Willis at all. Good play by Dominique.
Gene Banks, speaking of Banks' defense on Wilkins, last time these two teams played, Banks held Wilkins to 22 points and held him scoreless, more importantly, scoreless the last 22 minutes of the game. So Banks has done a good job on him previously. So look at the percentage and the inside scoring. The Hawks doing it down low. Tip in Oakley. Paxson with a lay-in that went awry, but Oakley was there for the offensive board and the tip, and it's a 2-point Hawks lead. Hawks turn over. The Bulls are running fast, and it's 5 against 4. Wilkins late getting down court. There's Corzine.
And
That's a
Hawks had a pay.
You bet.
Because Wilkins didn't get back.
What had happened is Dominique had been knocked down on the turnover and it just slid right into the expensive seats on the baseline. Charlie Neal will be at the studios here in Atlanta at halftime to update you on all the NBA action. Wilkins against Banks. Then the double team. Rivers is open for the jam. Paxson pinned down on Wilkins, and there went Doc Rivers.
Now Dominique was the primary responsible for that because they overreacted or reacted too soon to him. They left the middle wide open, and that last play down when Paxson got the layup, that was because they reacted too quick to Michael Jordan with the ball.
Here's Oakley from 18. Rebound Wilkins. Willis is deep. He's fouled by Michael Jordan. It's a program authorized under rights granted by the National Basketball Association solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of Bill Russell and the National Basketball Association is prohibited. I don't know if Bill's permission counts, actually. I don't think it does. Here's Wilkins. Banks all over him, and now Paxson. Hawks wanted to reverse it. They do finally. For 3, McGee missing by a mile. Taken away by Dominique Willis with the lay-in. Oakley did not see Wilkins.
That's because Wilkins was off the court and came back in from off the baseline.
Hawks by 4. Minute 22 to go in the half. Corzine over contact. Seemed like yesterday Dave Corzine was playing for DePaul.
Now with this game being this close and with this scoring like it has been to Chicago's advantage that they have pretty much dictated the pace of the game so far. And foul is probably on Kevin Willis. No. Let's see the steal here when Dominique comes from back out of nowhere.
And it is on Kevin Willis, Bill, and that is his third with 55 seconds to go in the second quarter. It is Hawks 49, Chicago 47. They're going to get Willis out of there with his 3 fouls, and Levingston is in for the remainder of the quarter, which is only 50 seconds.
You know, it's really funny. You take him out now to make sure he doesn't get the foul now. If he gets the foul the first minute of the third quarter, it's still totally different.
Many times you're going to see Jordan miss it on the baseline, but he does this time. Rivers to Levingston. Now the Hawks get the rest of the offense down here. It was 3 on 5.
Yeah, they had 3 on 5, but sort of a mismatch then.
Shot clock to 8. Nice feed to Levingston from Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers did a good job this quarter penetrating and either going for the hoop himself or getting wide open guy 10, 12 feet.
Rivers has 4 assists already. He averages about 10 a game. Check that. He has 5, so he's halfway to his total. He's right on track. Hawks by 4. 5 seconds to go, you see, in the quarter. Jordan. Levingston with a rebound as Michael misses. The Hawks lead by 4 at halftime. We have a beauty. Stay with us. Willis has 14. Wilkins 8. Jordan has 12, and Oakley has 12. We'll be back.
This is Charlie Neal of Atlanta. Coming up next on the Prudential Sports Update, a look at the other action in the NBA on this Monday night. You know, the Atlanta Hawks have a music video. We'll take you behind the scenes and show you how it was made. We'll also have a tribute to 2 of the most exciting players in the NBA, Michael Jordan of Chicago and Dominique Wilkins of Atlanta. All that and more coming up next.
TBS sports coverage of the NBA is brought to you by the Prudential, offering a full range of insurance and other financial services. With the right choices, with the right guidance, the sky's the limit. The Prudential, your rock in financial services.
Welcome back. I'm Charlie Neal, and besides the Bulls-Hawks game you're enjoying, there are 3 other games on the NBA schedule on this Monday night. One game has the Utah Jazz traveling to Indiana to take on the Pacers. Now, as good as the Jazz are at home, they've been equally as bad on the road with only 10 wins away from home. The Pacers went into the game trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. Well, we'll pick up the action at Market Square Arena, and you see Mark Eaton. He's sitting on the bench. He's missed 2 games with a bruised back. Jazz with the great defense. Karl Malone leading the break to Darrell Griffith for the layup. Griffith had 20 points in the first half for Utah. John Long is the most veteran player on the Pacers squad. Watch the move by the veteran. A great first quarter for him as he spins by Darrell Griffith for the layup. And the ex-Piston again going to work, driving the middle. He gets fouled, completes the 3-point play. 17 points in the first quarter for John Long as he sinks that one. Jazz rookie Daryl Curry, a first-round pick, connects from 3-point range. That kept Utah close. And right now, in the third quarter, the Jazz are leading Indiana 66-65. Meanwhile, in Milwaukee tonight, Don Nelson is hoping his Bucks can stop Phoenix's 2-game win streak. Jack Sikma outlet to John Lucas, and Lucas goes in for the nice drive for the Bucks. Lucas has been a pleasant find since coming to the Bucks. Up-and-coming point guard Jay Humphries leads the Phoenix break. Veteran Alvin Adams is on the end of that one for the layup. Meanwhile, Sidney Moncrief, trapped on the baseline, kicks it out to Terry Cummings for the jumper. Cummings averaging over 20 points per game this year. He sinks that one in Milwaukee in the first quarter, is leading Phoenix by 6 points. Also later on the West Coast, the Lakers take on the Clippers in a battle of the best and the worst in the Pacific Division. The Lakers have the best record in the NBA. The Clippers have the worst. And when we return, a look at the making of the Atlanta Hawks video. Stay with us. Music videos are a very big part of our society these days, and everyone seemingly wants to get in on the act. Well, the Atlanta Hawks are no exception, as our Paul Ryden tells us in this report.
We are the Bears, shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you. We're so bad, we know we're good, blowing your mind like we knew we would. You know.
Is it me, or is this getting to be a trend? A team wins a few games and boom, somebody's writing a song. A few great talented athletes are out there dancing a few simple dance steps, and next thing you know, it's into record stores, night tracks, and video immortality. If only the regular season were that easy. Of course, I've got to admit, making the video itself is no easy layup. One basketball arena, the Omni in Atlanta, and convert it to a soundstage for a day. Lights, cameras, and all sorts of action.
You know, if Dominique and Gus are coming down and Nick wants to dish it off to, to Gus and he wants to score, that's fine. Oh! Don't pass.
That is a great way to spend the day off.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful day. As long as we get home in time to see the Cosby Show, right, Weber? Definitely.
Shot in February, one might consider videos of this type a tad premature. The night after this grand production was staged, the Hawks were stopped by Indiana. One can only assume that somewhere in the Hoosier State, someone's writing a song, and rest assured, a video can't be far behind. In Atlanta, Paul Ryden, TBS Sports.
TBS sports coverage of the NBA has been brought to you by the Prudential, offering a full range of insurance and other financial services. With the right choices, with the right guidance, the sky's the limit. The Prudential, your rock in financial services.
Well, two of the top three scorers in the NBA are featured in tonight's game. Michael Jordan of the Chicago Bulls leads the league with an average of over 37 points per game, while Dominique Wilkins of the Atlanta Hawks is the league's third leading scorer with an average of just over 28 points per contest. But more importantly than the numbers is the grace and style which both players possess, a style that makes you sometimes wonder if they're really human. Well, we've put together a tribute to these amazing athletes.
This portion of the NBA halftime is brought to you by Milky Way. A Milky Way a day helps you work, rest, and play.
Before we return to the second half of tonight's Hawks-Bulls game, let's enjoy a special play from the NBA.
Valvoline presents another special play in the NBA.
Friday's Utah-Milwaukee game, Jazz down by 1. 13 seconds to play. Terrell Bailey has the ball stripped, but John Stockton is there to shoot an off-balance ball away for the game winner.
Plays like that make the NBA special. Here's what makes motor oil special.
As always, thanks for watching. I'll be back at the end of the game to update all the scores. Let's go back to the Omni now. Bob and Bill are standing by for the second half.
All right, thank you, Charlie Neal. And it's been some half here. The Hawks lead by 4 points at halftime. And these two teams are in the Eastern Conference, of course, the Central Division. Let's have a look at the Eastern Conference as we get about 18 games away from the playoffs. You see it's Boston and Detroit out in front right now. But after Boston, it gets really close with Detroit, Atlanta, Milwaukee, Chicago, Washington, Philly, and Indiana. Now let's talk about this particular ball game here. Bill, at the beginning of the game, you said that a key matchup would be Oakley and Willis. Well, at halftime, Oakley has 11 rebounds, 12 points, number 34 for Chicago.
He's having an outstanding game, and what he does is he doesn't try to do a lot of things. He's very efficient, and I'd say, as I said earlier, he's probably taken more advantage of the fact that he's playing with Michael Jordan and attention diverted away from him than anyone on the team.
Willis is scoring well, but Kevin Willis has only 1 rebound for Atlanta at this point, and he'll certainly have to better that in the second half if the Hawks can hold on.
Well, you know, I talked to him about the rebounding differences, but Chicago is usually out-rebounded the Hawks, and that's been a thing of matchups. And when you're playing well against some teams, some things don't come to you. And so he could be playing well and what he usually does very well, not be able to do it that night. But he can do other things that can make up for it.
Let's look at the efficiency rating. First of all, Michael Jordan is a 7 at halftime. Remember, if he continues at that pace, he'd have about a 14, which is a pretty good efficiency rating, but be a little bit below what he normally scores. And Dominique Wilkins has only a 4 in that regard. And Dominique has not, he has 3 assists, and Dominique has at halftime 8 points. Here are the first half statistics.
As we said earlier, Dominique has been in a slump for about 7 or 8 games, and so he's been shooting around 40%, which is not very high percentage.
And he's shooting about that in this ball game tonight, too. He's not had that much opportunity. Gene Banks has done a great job defensing. I pointed out that in the previous meeting, Banks held Wilkins to only 22 points and no points in the final 22 minutes. 51-47 Hawks, opening moments, third quarter, from a sold-out Omni in Atlanta. Jordan, very open.
And he puts it down. He's a young man with tremendous diversified skills. And when this Chicago Bull team improves in other positions, he'll legitimately win the most valuable player, I believe.
Contact missing. Jordan rebounding. Jordan even leads his team in free throw percentage. Leads them in steals, blocks. Jordan with the pass. From long range, Paxson. He'll get an assist there. 51-51. Hawks had led by 4. Bulls have scored 4 unanswered points. Doc Rivers with a drive off the glass. A beautiful move by the youngster from Marquette in his 4th year. Doc has 15 points. Jordan over Wilkins. Wilkins defending Jordan on that play, and Jordan scores easily.
Well, he was out there with him. You can't say that he was defending him on that one.
Tied at 53. See what the matchup here is. Jordan is playing Doc Rivers. Wilkins over Banks, has it stripped away as Jordan slipped down there to double team it.
Chicago has set the defense up so that Jordan can roam defensively, and he's the designated double teamer.
Wilkins against Banks. He doesn't get it fall, but he is fouled.
And that's one of the things that shows smart to the part of the Chicago coaching staff, in that a guy that follows the ball, which Jordan does. So you take that, which could be a liability, and you make him the guy that does most of the double teaming, and now it's an asset.
That, by the way, Banks playing the real tough defense on Wilkins tonight was Banks' first personal foul. 54-53 Atlanta, 10:23 to go, third quarter. Wilkins, you see, scoring 28.2. That's 3rd in the league behind Jordan and Alex English of Denver. Gene Banks from Duke. Behind the back pass, foul on Doc Rivers.
I thought it was a good defensive play by Glenn, but let's take another look at it, see if we can see where the foul's committed. Now, there's a good pass. And Corzine blocked our view. He's a big blocker.
He can block the sun. Hawks by 2. Oakley from long range. And Charles Oakley now has 14 points in the ball game and 11 rebounds. A double-double for him already. Has 2 assists, if you're thinking all the way through that math formula there. 55-55 the score. Here's Whitman.
It's difficult for a guy like Charles Oakley to get a lot of assists. When Michael Jordan has the ball, guys go to the open spot or go to the hoop without the ball. When Oakley has the ball, they think, well, is he going to shoot or is he going to pass, or, well, I better wait and see.
Whitman just watches Jordan go by. He's fouled.
Super move there.
18 points for Jordan now, and the foul is on Konkak, his first.
Now this play is a good demonstration of what I call grace and daring. Left-handed, soft touch.
And the Bulls this quarter are 5 for 5 from the field. And uncharacteristically, Michael Jordan misses a free throw. It's tied at 57. 9:21 to go, third quarter. Along with Bill Russell, Bob Neal from the Omni.
That missed free throw was just to remind us that he's quite human.
Whitman missing from long range. Concat comes back. He's fouled by Oakley. And Charles Oakley will have 3 personals now. Concat will go to the line. Oakley he has 11 rebounds now. If you think wondering if he can get 20, he had 20 in the last game just yesterday against the Mavericks. What a player he's becoming. Who would have thought, out of very small school? Of course, that's a very good basketball conference, the CIAA.
But he got traded before he played a single NBA
From
game.
Cleveland for Keith Lee. Proved to be good.
Depends on your view.
Good from Chicago's point of view. Concat gets them both. 59-57. Atlanta, 9:10 to go, third quarter. Concat with 4 points. All from the line. Oakley around Whitman. Lost out of bounds. The offense just got disoriented.
Well, he faked the 2 guys. They didn't know who Michael Jordan thought he was passing to him and to Corzine, and Corzine thought he was passing to Michael Jordan. And so they watched him go out of bounds.
The old Alphonse and Gaston. I got it, you take it.
And straightened one of the curls out and Doug Collins' head.
Doug has aged since he came off the broadcast table.
This kind of activity will age.
Willis lucky to get it back. It was an ill-advised pass. Here comes Jordan.
That's fouls on Doc Rivers.
He pushed him from behind, and remember, Jordan was out of the ball game with injuries twice against Dallas. You see him holding his left hip. That was the injury area.
Let's take a look at it. This may be one way of stopping him. Get in front of him and then push him from behind.
We asked the Hawks how they'd stop him.
If Whitman had not been in front, that would have been that they would have had to invoke that rule about clubbing a guy from behind.
The advantage rule would have been a free throw and then the ball back, as it is simply a foul. Nice play by Concat. Nice feed from Rivers to Kevin Willis. 61-57, Atlanta by 4. 22nd timeout. Doc Rivers has 7 assists now and 15 points.
And that was an excellent play by Doc Rivers. Dominique was open on the open floor, and he thought he was open. He was calling for the ball, but Doc held it up, got it inside, and they end up with a dunk shot. If he had passed it off earlier, they don't know what they might have gotten out of that. But because Dominique is in a slump, you can't count on it exactly happening what you think or want to happen.
Bill, let's look at this from our high-angle replay. It'll give us a great view, right directly above.
And vertigo. Here's the penetration. Pass off, and here's a dunk shot. Now, that's a little tough to see from here, but...
trust us, it was a dunk shot.
Yeah.
That's a great view of the court. That'll be good for coaching clinics.
I'll be back in a few minutes. I got to... It's giving me a headache.
We didn't tell our director, Tom Smith, that you have vertigo, did we? No, I got real problems. I have Barry over here with his sore throat, and Bill Russell getting vertigo, and it's we're getting thin on the bench.
Well, I'm not going to get on your coat.
Jordan missing. Hawks rebounding. Kevin Willis again on the feed, and it's going to roll home for Willis. (63-57). Hawks have their biggest lead at 6 points, and the foul is going to be on Concat. That'll be his second. 2 team fouls on Chicago, 4 team fouls on Atlanta with 7:39 to go, third quarter.
Now, the primary reason that I can see that Concat got that foul was poor footwork. If he'd approached the play with the proper footwork, he would not have gotten that foul. A lot of guys I've noticed is start plays with footwork that's so bad, it is physically impossible for them to play good defense.
Oakley can't get them both to drop. Willis with a rebound, 63-58. Hawks by 5. Doc Rivers, Concat, Wilkins, Kevin Willis, and Whitman, the starters in there for Atlanta. Willis against Oakley. They clear the side. Now the double team. Whitman's open. Reverses it to Wilkins. Great ball movement by Atlanta.
That's the kind of shots that Dominique should be getting.
7-point lead, largest of the game for the Hawks. Here's Oakley.
A little bit out of his range.
Kept alive by Wilkins. Rivers running. Stripped away by Gene Banks. A great defensive play. Threading the needle, and Banks with a reverse. Paxson with the pass.
Just as absurd. Banks did it, made a good defensive play and ended up with a layup, and that was an excellent transition from defense to offense.
Hawks by 5. Chicago's won both games in Chicago. The Hawks won their only previous meeting here this year. That was the big scoring battle with 57 for Wilkins and 41 for Jordan.
Now, there was a give and go that wasn't timed perfect, and that's what can happen to you when you do it. It's because of a very critical timing on that play.
5 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Mike Fratello calls timeout. 6:25 to go in the quarter, and the Hawks lead by 5.
TBS sports coverage of the NBA is being brought to you by Renault and Jeep, official vehicles of the NBA.
As you look down that list, you see Michael Jordan's third on the guys who have dominated the scoring on their team, the percentage of points they've been responsible for. Chamberlain 3, Michael, of course, with Minneapolis was 34.3. But look, it's been 23 years, Bill, since a player has dominated the scoring like the players did in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, I was looking at Chamberlain when he had 40%. I know I helped out a lot. I held him to 62 one night.
These were some great battles. What were the most points he got in? Do you remember?
62. I'll never forget that one. He bounced a couple of dunks off of I'd like to think of my shoulder.
Rebound Oakley. That is his 12th rebound of this ball game. Hawks lead by 5. Bulls ball. Paxson. Jordan in the backcourt. Inside scoring. Atlanta doing it up front. That's how the Hawks do it most often when they get the opportunity. They'll find the team scores inside, will win most of the time. Oakley with a nice feed, scoring inside.
And again, Oakley is doing what you should do. When Michael Jordan has the ball, you know that your man's attention is going to go to him. Go to the open spot or go to the basket, and you'll end up with a lot of things that you found to take advantage of.
The Bulls are spreading the assists out tonight. Jordan has 5 assists to go with his 18 points and his 5 rebounds, having himself a very complete ball game. Paxson also has 5 assists, and Corzine has 4.
You know, one of the difference between Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins, Jordan knows how to pass off of what he's doing. If Dominique develops a good passing system off of what he's doing, then he can really make this a super team. This is a good team now. It's an outstanding team now. But he could do more for the team if he could pass off of his moves.
Now let's see here what we've got. There's they're discussing the 24-second clock and how much time is remaining on it. It had been down to 10. Now they're going to put 17 seconds on it. That's why the Hawks were arguing. They wanted more time. They've reset the 24-second clock. It's now 17 seconds. 65-62, Atlanta by 3. In this quarter, the Hawks have led by 7. They trailed by as many as 8 in the first quarter. Whitman inside feeds to the larger Kevin Willis. Misses. Jordan with a rebound. That's his 6th rebound. Michael Jordan threw everybody. Came up limping a little bit.
And he's calling time out. He wants to get out of the game.
Whitman from the free throw line missing. Dominique Wilkins. His 14 points.
That'll wake you up.
Well, Jordan keeps trying to get out of the ball game, but they keep playing. He looks like he's all right. Let's see. We'll follow him over there. He's getting bumped heavily down there by Whitman with the ball against Whitman and contact.
Good
Feeds
pass.
inside, wide open Gene Banks. Assist number 6.
See, he has a real good diversified skill. He's an excellent passer and a good defender.
And he's really in pain out there, Bill. You can just look at him doubling over there and limping badly. Remember, he had 2 separate occasions suffered a hip pointer yesterday against Dallas. Had to leave that ball game. Get it into Willis. He's fouled. by Jordan. I think Michael was saying one way or another.
I'll get out of the game now.
Threat comes in for Michael Jordan. Let's watch the play again where he got bumped. Michael Jordan, we're speaking of. Looks like he came down wrong in that right leg.
Yes, it's probably, maybe it's an ankle.
He's in some discomfort over there, no question about that. 67-66, Atlanta. They're working on his right knee. Hawks lead by 2, can go up by 3. Kevin Willis, as you see, way above his season average, but of recent, that's point number 19 for Willis. Of recent times, he's been scoring 20 points per game. So Michael Jordan getting beat around this time of the season. Jordan has been fortunate all year as he's avoided the colds, he's avoided the bangs and knocks that you get when you're a great scorer, but he's got them now. Paxson with a drive, Oakley with a tip in.
Oakley's having an excellent game tonight.
He's assumed the scoring role with Jordan out of there. 69-68 Atlanta, 4:10 to go third quarter.
The type of scoring he's done because he's getting the offensive boards and they double team. Those are kind of points that really help a team because they're really outside of your offense. You don't have to work. Those are buckets you get. You don't have to really work that hard for it, except the individual has to work hard, but the team as a concept doesn't have to work so hard to get a shot.
Doc Rivers will go to the line, and the Hawks have made several substitutions. Oakley picked up his 4th personal, by the way. He's going to take a rest. So Oakley, even though he's got to pick up the scoring slack, has to go to the bench now. And here comes Brad Sellers. Let's set the lineups. We've had a few changes. It'll be Banks, Sellers, Paxson, Threat, and Corzine for the Bulls. For the Atlanta Hawks, it'll be Tree Rollins, Mike McGee, Doc Rivers, Cliff Levingston, and Dominique Wilkins. $18 points tonight for Doc Rivers. This average is only 13.5, so he's playing above his head scoring-wise thus far. 72-68, Hawks by 4. Banks with a nice double clutch. Livingston went up to block it, and Banks just held it a moment long enough. Clear the side for Wilkins. Over Corzine.
Well, that was a good play by Wilkins because he didn't have the play, he didn't force it, he gave it up and got it back and started all over. And we had a better position the second time. That's why he ended up with the layup along the baseline.
Now Wilkins with 16 points.
See that Tree didn't get the roll.
And it's Tree Rollins with the first one. Check that, Mike McGee. It is on Mike McGee, his 2nd personal foul. Tree Rollins has 2 also, but that one was on McGee. And going to the line, Sadale 3. And Jordan apparently okay. He averages nearly 40 minutes a game. The only player from the Chicago bench who has scored tonight is Sadale Threat as Jordan comes back in. The Chicago bench has failed them this evening.
Well, Sellers, he hasn't scored, but that's not his fault.
He's been shooting, not because he hadn't tried. Threat with 4 points now, the entire bench scoring for the Chicago Bulls. It's a 2-point game. Atlanta 74-72, 3:21 to go third quarter.
And then another thing you have to consider, what does the coach expect from his bench? What does he want them to do when they're out there? From the Hawks bench, they expect Mike McGee to take, if he's out there 15 minutes, to take 7, 8, 9 shots. Here's
Jordan with a nice feed to Sellers over Rollins. Rollins blocks it. He just waited too long, traveling on Brad Sellers. Sellers a 7-footer, but he's just a rookie, and he just had to stare Tree Rollins right in the face. One of the best shot blockers in recent NBA history. 2:53 to go third quarter. Rollins. A little out of his range for the jump.
It was creative.
And a nice pass to Doug Collins on the sideline. It was open for the 3-pointer. Sadale Threat, but Doug didn't want it. Got to always remain alert over there. If had it been Rick Barry coaching,
he would have put it up 3 points.
Rick's with us tonight, but you won't hear him talk because he's still suffering with that sore throat. He'll be ready for the Dallas-Atlanta game on Friday. here on the Superstation. Mike McGee battling so hard he's fouled.
This guy has no business in the first place.
Dominique Wilkins just walked off the court. You see him behind the stanchion down there, very, very angry as he was really slammed around. And Tree kind of took him off the court, and I think it was because of the anger. So he'll settle down as we have a timeout.
I think he might have got hit with an elbow.
I think you're right. 2:16 to go, third quarter. Not only do we have a great ball game here with Jordan and Wilkins, but we have Elle Macpherson. Anybody who picks up Sports Illustrated would know about Elle Macpherson. Splish, splash, and that young man is out of here. His mom sees him with that poster. He's all in. I'm just into sports. Lovely young lady. She signed autographs. Matter of fact, there was an autograph line down the length of the court, around the arena, up the aisle and out the door prior to the game. I know because I was in the line. Twice.
She was out selling season tickets for next season.
I bought some of those too. Here's Mike McGee from the line, and he rattles it home. From LA for Billy Thompson, basically, was the trade made on draft day for Mike McGee, and he really answered a need of the Atlanta Hawks for a perimeter shooter off the bench. 3-point Hawks lead over Chicago. 2:12 to go, third quarter. Michael Jordan's been banged around tonight, like a lot tonight. He went out of the game. He's back in now, however. Banks.
Excellent ball movement.
And some deep pressure by Threet onto McGee. They get it up here to Dominique Wilkins.
That's because all the ball carriers went down to see if they could get a shot. And no one wanted to wait and bring the ball up.
Minute 41 of the quarter as Whitman shoots from 18. Corzine just shoves Tree Rollins out of there and handles the rebound. Oh, it's tough inside tonight, folks. Jordan fouled as he drives by Mike McGee.
And the foul's out on the floor before the shot. No continuation.
That's Mike McGee's third personal. So McGee's been defending Jordan and doing a decent job of it. Jordan has 20 points for somebody who averages 37 a game. Toward the end of the third quarter, he looks like he's right on target.
Right, because we haven't come to Jordan time in the last quarter. He's done just a tremendous job of getting a majority of the Chicago Bull points in the last quarter. Then Poquet.
Checking into the ball game, Poquet came from Cleveland on the 15th for a number 2 draft choice to help this club inside. Poquet from Central Michigan University. 10 years ago. Danny Roundfield from Central Michigan also. And by the way, speaking of them, they're in the NCAA Final 64. Wilkins is just mobbed. They finally blow the whistle. It's either 40 or 50.
Now, what he's talking to Mike McGee about is after you pass, you got to get out of there. So that the double team, you have to make them pay. If you don't get out of there, you can't make them pay for the double team. Unless they foul you, which they won't do most of the time.
Corzine with 3 personals now, as Wilkins with 17 points on the night, and Michael Jordan with 22, if you're keeping track of that scoring battle.
If McGee gives you the ball and gets out of there, then Chicago Bulls, other 3 guys have to rotate for that double team, and there's going to be an open man. And then you might get an assist if you're lucky.
Game's tied at 76. Jordan against McGee. Oh, just like he was standing still. Not a foul. It's a lost out of bounds. Will belong to Chicago. 12 seconds on the shot clock. And Antoine Carr comes in as Dominique Wilkins gets a rest.
A full-size car, too, not a compact.
An American car. Poquet to Threet. Wilkins is out of there now. Jordan stays in on the double team, hits the pass. Corzine's open over Levingston. Just as you pointed out a moment ago, Bill, the Bulls are getting really good ball movement, reversing it from one side to the other when they double down on Jordan.
They are a much better team this year in their half-court passing than they were last year.
Doug Collins has done a good job first year coaching the NBA. Whitman off 2 screens. And it's tied at 78.
And that's the reason they don't want Jordan guarding him. Not that Jordan's not a good defensive player, but Whitman runs into 3 or 4 picks every time he gets a shot, and that wears you out worse than shooting.
Jordan just kind of forced that one up. Antoine Carr with a big rebound. And the crowd very quiet here at the Omni. It is a sellout, 16,005 for a ball game that's tied at 78. With Wilkins and Jordan, they're kind of quiet. Maybe they're saving it for crunch time. 15 seconds to go, third quarter. Shot clock has 8 seconds remaining. Shot clock to 4. To 2. And Carr from way downtown.
Not the shot that Mike Portillo's diagram, I don't think.
Not exactly. That almost went from 3 at the buzzer. It ends the third quarter tied at 78. We got ourselves a good ball game. Remember, Jordan and Wilkins have that battle going on. Stay with us for the fourth quarter. Sellout crowd of 16,500 at the Omni in Atlanta. Tie ball game ready for the final 12 minutes. Tied at 78. The number 1 and 2 defensive teams in the league playing a defensive ball game here tonight. The Detroit Pistons will be in New York tomorrow night along with Bill Russell, who will be joining Skip Carey there for the Pistons and the New York Knicks with Isaiah Thomas and Patrick Ewing. And on Friday night, we'll continue with our 3 NBA game week on the Superstation as Rick Barry and yours truly will be headed for Dallas, Texas, where we'll have Atlanta and Dallas, two of the, in my opinion, the best 2 young teams in the National Basketball Association. So we have 3 games for you this week on the Superstation.
As we start the fourth quarter, this pace, the scoring pace has definitely been in Chicago's favor. The Hawks will actually, if they had upped the ante about 10 more points per team, it'd be more in their pace of game.
Interestingly, in the first quarter, Chicago with much better assist points, moving the ball better. In the third quarter, they had better ball movement and drew back here to a tie. In the second, when they fell behind, Chicago did not move the ball well. McGee for 3. Hawks go up by that number. 11:40 to go in the ball game. He was brought here because of his perimeter shooting ability, and that helped him in a tie situation.
So far, the Hawks have been a little off in their passing in the half-court game.
Sellers. I don't believe he's hit one tonight.
But you got to shoot your way through a slump.
He's doing it. 8 rebounds for Mike McGee tonight. 81-78 Atlanta.
Now they've been trying to get Whitman another 3-point game. They've been trying to get Whitman loose on the baseline. They haven't come up with the proper timing to get him free so far.
McGee now with 9 points, and that brought this lackadaisical crowd to their feet. Jordan with 22 right now, isolated against McGee. Levingston fouls him. It'll be for 2. Jordan has such an unbelievable acceleration from a standing start, obviously.
As Rick would tell you when he starts talking to you again, Bob, that the key thing on drive to the basket is that first step. And I think when Rick was a young guy, I think we measured his first step was over 7 feet.
He was halfway there from the free throw line. Well, Jordan sure gets off the mark quickly. Jordan tonight is only 2 for 4 from the line, and he's the leading free throw shooter for Chicago. He averages .855. His percentage. Now he's 3 out of 5. 84-79 Atlanta. 10:46 to go in this ball game. Hawks on a 6-game winning streak. Bulls have won 10 of their last 14.
CDL Trees did an excellent job on Whitman in fighting up those picks.
Shot clock to 3. Here's Jordan. All right, if this was the slam dunk contest, Bill, what does he get on that one?
50.
That got the crowd rocking and rolling, even though the guy was wearing the wrong colored jersey for Atlanta. It's 84-81 now. Carr has it stripped away, and there's Oakley battling to get the ball. It goes loose, and McGee has it.
Excellent defensive play. I see that treat. He shut the gap on that one.
Stripped away by Whitman, but he fouled him. Now the Bulls running. Even though they trail by 3, they'll have an opportunity here. That'll be a 2-shot free throw.
Let's see if we can. Here's that 50.
You give him a 50 on that.
Yeah.
Sure. I think he gets extra point for mouth positioning.
Hey, listen.
He needs a mouthpiece sometimes. Here's Threet. So the foul turns out to be a good one by Whitman in terms of points allowed. All 5 of Threet's points have come from the line. We have a timeout called by Mike Fratello and the Atlanta Hawks with 9:52 to go in the ball game. The Hawks leading by 2.
Let's see if Randy Whitman has a case here. There's a shot. Looks like he got all ball there. And this is, he's a little upset with the referee, and I think Tree Rollins comes to his rescue there and keep him away from the referee, because that could be a very expensive argument, especially if you lose.
84-82, Atlanta leading. 9:52 to go in the ball game. Along with Bill Russell, this is Bob Neal at the Omni in Atlanta for 2 Central Division foes. The Bulls have won both games in Chicago. The Hawks have won the previous encounter here.
That little graphic that they flashed there says that the Hawks are pretty good when they're front, and they're not tough when they're behind.
Well, they're barely in front here by 2. Full court pressure by the Bulls on the inbound play. Now they release it, and here comes Rivers. Corzine and Banks set to come back into the ball game for Chicago. Right now it's Granville Waiters and Ben Poquette playing up front. Willis defended by Oakley. He traveled.
All he had to do was change pivot feet, and that they usually call that on you.
Speaking of the bench, as Banks gets back into the ball game, as does Corzine, the Chicago bench has only produced 5 points tonight, all from Sedale Threet. The Hawks bench 21 points. Of course, Mike McGee leads the way, has those 2 3-pointers. He has 9 off the bench.
And they're almost tied. So actually the Chicago bench may be doing a pretty good job.
Doc Rivers.
Although they're not scoring.
To Willis. Willis is fouled. He'll go to the line. Sedale Threet with the push.
That's the excellent pass. And there's the foul on Sedale Threet. His 3rd foul.
If Willis sinks it, Hawks will go up by 5. It's Rollins, Rivers, Willis, Dominique Wilkins, Randy Whitman in there for the Hawks right now. Willis with 22 points, only 2 rebounds. He averages 10.7 rebounds a game and is 10th in the NBA, but has not rebounded well tonight, although he has provided some offensive punch. Wilkins also has 17. Jordan, by the way, 25. He's fouled as he drives.
Now, Oakley's been doing a good job of keeping Willis away from the basket when he's there, and he's used his upper body strength. And that's one of the reasons that Willis hasn't gotten a lot of rebounds, because he usually gets a few of his rebounds on the offensive board, and Oakley's done a good job of keeping away from that. So he's got to get his points from shots he's made from the floor, not the easy ones on the offensive board.
Rivers had the foul on Jordan, and Jordan missing, playing badly at the free throw line tonight. Could be coming off of that hip pointer, not making excuses for him. He has, as I say, 25 points tonight. But Rivers has 4 personal fouls. 4 of 7 from the free throw line for Michael Jordan tonight. And it's 87-83, Atlanta by 4. 9 minutes remaining in this ball game from Atlanta. And look at that, the rebounds even. The last 2 times Atlanta played Chicago, the Hawks could come up with only 28 and 29 rebounds total for the game. So they're doing a better job there tonight. Rivers finds the opening, but a little too much roll on it. Big miss. Jordan. Double teamed by Rivers and Whitman. Bad pass.
Foul in the backcourt.
Well, the fans didn't like that. Corzine took away what might have been another human highlight by fouling Wilkins before he could get the break going. John Koncak back into the ball game now, and Tree Rollins taking the rest. Hawks by 4. 8:25 remaining. Whitman trying to get around Paxson, finally runs him through 2 screens and gets past him. 2-man game with Willis. The jump hook falls. That was just a 1-man game because Willis took it for the hole.
Now, that's what's called a vertical play. Nothing horizontal about that. Up and over.
Willis has 25 points, kicked out of bounds. It'll belong to
New
Chicago.
24 seconds because it's a violation.
Yes.
And Chicago wants to time out.
Doug Collins calls the Bulls to the sideline with 8 minutes remaining in the ball game. The Bulls trailing by 6 from Atlanta.
Now, this is a good illustration of the point we made a couple of minutes before, that Oakley is keeping Kevin Willis off the board. You can't rebound when a guy's holding you out like that. So Kevin sets up. And if either one of those guys were to move away, the other one would fall down. You know, I remember once when I was playing, I was pushing the guy, we were pushing, I moved away, he fell, the referee called a foul on me because all he saw was the motion over there and the guy falling down.
Well, the Bulls are good in the close games, as you can see by that graphic information, and this one's close. Hawks 89, Bulls 83. 8 minutes remaining from the Omni in Atlanta. New 24-second clock as the Hawks kick the ball out of bounds.
One of the reasons the Bulls are so tough down the stretch is Michael Jordan is extremely tough in the last few minutes.
Oakley trying to split the defense inside between Koncak and Willis. The foul is on Kevin Willis, and that's his 4th. Doc Rivers also has 4 for Atlanta. Oakley and Corzine have 4 each for Chicago.
Basically, you say there have been a lot of fouls committed by the key players in this game.
That's what I'm saying. Well, you know, these are the number 1s and 2 teams in the NBA in points allowed per game, as Atlanta allows 103 and Hawks just a little more than 104. And, of course, they play tough defense. You're going to get a lot more called that way. And it's a low-scoring game, 89-83.
Well, you know, that's why Dominique is so important to the Hawks. Is if you're going to play real tough defense, you need a guy that's going to go out there and get you some easy baskets so you don't have to work so hard on the offense.
Wilkins has 17 tonight. Willis 25 for Atlanta. Loose ball foul. That's going to...
Glenn Rivers pushing Banks out of the way. At least that's what they called. And the fans are upset. And so is Glenn Rivers.
And that's 5 on Doc Rivers. That becomes a significant call with 7:36 remaining in the game, and it's a 5-point game. The fans are all over Jack Madden, the official who has the ball in the center of the free throw lane. The Hawks have lost 9 out of 10 games at home that Madden has officiated. I'm not saying about Madden, but the folks are. The fans in Atlanta.
That's all you can say it. And then when he looks at the tape, he's going to call you up and speak to you about this harshly.
He probably will. I'm not questioning it. I'm just telling you the fans are upset. And that is the record. Banks at the free throw line. Gene Banks tonight with 15 points. 16 make that. Above his season average, and he's done a great job on Dominique Wilkins defensively. Last time they played, he held Dominique to 22 points and no points the final 22 minutes of the game. Dominique has 17 tonight, and it's been a while since he scored. Has not scored in this period, as a matter of fact. Whitman with 6 on the shot clock. Tried to hit it with his left hand. It was stripped away. Oakley battling for the boards. Good feed to Corzine from Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan now has 7 assists, 9 rebounds, and 26 points. He's got a shot at a triple-double.
And what he's shown tonight, particularly, he's not scoring as much as you might expect, but he's showing some of the other parts of his game that are very important to winning.
Gus Williams getting ready to check into the Hawks lineup. Wilkins missing. He has not scored in the 4th quarter. 89-87. Chicago could tie it or take the lead on this possession. Hawks look a little confused on the defensive matchup now. They get it down to Jordan. Paxson open. From long range over Koncak.
Another excellent play by Michael Jordan. Now, what he's doing, he's using himself as a decoy. And Paxson taking full advantage of it.
It's tied at 89 with 6 minutes and 21 seconds to go in this ball game. So, Bill Russell, as it's developed, what do you expect the last few minutes here in terms of what we see inside game?
Well, first of all, it's a Chicago-paced game. That gives them an advantage, although they're on the road. Now, what Michael Jordan just did in that last play was make it easy, an easy shot for Paxson. Now, here's Banks playing defense on Wilkins, and he ends up shooting a bad shot because it comes up short.
Got a tough bump from Gene Banks there.
Well, if you get away with it, it's not a bump.
That's right. And that's the 17th rebound by Oakley, by the way.
Now, if Chicago, the last play is an indication, they may be using Michael Jordan as a decoy. But now guys like Paxson and Oakley, if they're in there, will have to hit the open shot.
Well,
but they will be there.
Chicago has had very balanced scoring in this ball game. All 5 of their starters are in double figures. Gus Williams is in now for Whitman for Atlanta. So it's Gus Williams running the offense. Mike McGee, the number 2 guard, he has the ball.
And he traveled before he got rid of that.
They didn't call it, but he couldn't shoot it over Corzine. And
now they're playing very tentative in their they're not running their half-court offense very well at all because they have not been able to get their best shooter in this situation, Whitman, free.
That was rebound 18 for Oakley, who has the ball. He's double-teamed Paxson, open from long range. And Paxson has been burying them from long range tonight.
And that's how they're going to have to make. Now, Gus Williams is in there. Maybe he'll be able to get free on the baseline or get McGee free so that they got some outside shooting because Chicago's not going to give them anything inside.
Bulls have the lead back now. Dominique Wilkins still has not scored in the 4th quarter, but he'll have an opportunity at the free throw line now.
Now, what he's doing is he's getting a little anxious. Dominic is. Banks is doing the job there. That's the foul they caught him there.
That's 2 on Banks.
He's making him hurry to get the shot off.
First point of the 4th quarter for Dominique Wilkins.
Because Banks is bumping him down low. And that's the kind of foul a lot of times the referee let go when you hit a guy on the waist or below.
It's tied at 91, 5 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in the ball game. Dominique Wilkins now with 19 points on the game. Michael Jordan with 26. But Jordan also has 9 rebounds and 8 assists. Jordan over McGee.
Not a good shot.
Not a good one. Hawks can take the lead with 5:13 to go.
If he didn't fade, it would have been a good shot, I think.
Jordan shooting 50% tonight, 11 of 22 from the field for his 26 points. Wilkins double teamed, almost stolen, and there's a foul, illegal defense on Chicago.
On Banks, I believe. Let's see if we can spot it here. Here's Banks keeping the pressure. On little pressure, make them give it up.
That was the first illegal defense against Chicago. Paxson, the man they called the illegal defense on that time. Tied at 91, and Wilkins is fouled by Banks. That's Banks' 3rd.
Now Wilkins should have given that one up right away. As soon as it got to him, he should have kicked it right back out to Gus for the open shot.
Team fouls now. Hawks are in the penalty. They have 5 team fouls against them. That was the 4th against Chicago. Next one will put the Hawks at the line. Tied at 91. Clock to 4:41.
Good defense again by Banks. He's trying to deny the ball. You play him tough, and when he backs you in, then you turn around and go in front of him and make him have to start over further out so he's not within shooting range when he gets you.
Good defense again. Jordan and Banks involved in that one. Michael Jordan came up with the ball and tied at 91.
That's because the Atlanta team offense is standing around. And everybody in the building knows where the ball's going.
Jordan got everybody airborne and scored. And he'll go to the line for a 3-point opportunity. So Michael Jordan now with 28, an opportunity for 29. And that first one was on John Koncak, his 3rd.
Let's take another look at that play now. There's a whole crowd there waiting for him. And that's good vertical basketball. He set it up with a horizontal move, but he finished it off vertical. Just jumped over everybody.
Michael has on the highest fashion footwear in the NBA tonight. That's not a commercial, but they are something to see.
Air Jordan.
Those look like the shoes Jordan's wearing that Rick Barry wears just, all the time for comfort. High fashion neighborhoods. The Bulls lead by 3. 4:08 to go. Doc Rivers back in the ballgame, scoring, and he's fouled. three-point opportunity.
Now, the Hawks really needed that bad.
They needed Rivers back in the game.
They were standing around, and with no movement other than the ball. Here's a good move by Glenn Rivers. Penetrates. There's the defense. Went right by that one, and that one fouled him. So the foul's on Banks.
And that's 4 now on Gene Banks.
Maybe Glenn Rivers will help Dominique out by getting Banks in foul trouble.
You got that right. 1-point Chicago lead. 10 assists now for Doc Rivers. To go with 21 points and 4 rebounds. He's had himself a good ball game. We're tied at 94. Under 4 minutes remaining.
Now they're using a 2-man game with Paxson and Michael Jordan. They want to get the ball, and it's going to be somebody open.
Corzine missing.
And that's a foul on
Oakley, I believe, prior to the rebound.
Yes, he pushed 2 guys out of the way to get to that one.
Oakley has 5 fouls, so Banks has his 4 fouls, which will certainly probably loosen his defense a little bit on Wilkins, and Oakley with the 5 fouls. The whistle has caused some problems for the Bulls as it's tied at 44.
Now, what's happening when you try to go get a one-on-one situation like the Hawks have been doing down offensively, basically trying to get Wilkins to go one-on-one with Banks. Other 4 guys just standing around, and you have a very tough time making transition from offense to defense. You're standing around. Plus, everybody in the building knows where the ball going, and any heads-up defensive player can stop it.
Kevin Willis with 26 points, only 3 rebounds tonight. And that's because Oakley's been beating him to the boards with 18. Big miss there, but a great play by Wilkins. He saves it to Willis. Heads-up play by Dominique. Hawks by 1 with control of the ball and 3.5 minutes remaining in the game from the Omni in Atlanta.
If they score here, that could be a very important basket. Good defensive play by Michael Jordan. Bad shot.
Hawks offense disoriented on that particular possession. Their opportunity to build the lead. Now they have the opportunity to lose the lead. Jordan.
They're out of sync, obviously, offensively.
Lost out of bounds by Michael Jordan. It will go to the Hawks, and that will be 9 turnovers. First turnover of the 4th quarter for the Chicago Bulls. Only 18 turnovers in the game.
Mike McGee looks like he's been with.
Yeah, he looks like Bone Crusher Smith fighting with Tyson. You have to go to the corner in a minute. Gene Banks misses the tip away. Dominique Wilkins misses the baseline. Willis, yes!
His number of rebounds aren't very high, but that was a real big one there.
The first offensive rebound of the night for Kevin Willis. He now has 28 points. The Hawks lead by 3.
Now here's Oakley doing a good job on Kevin Willis. Dominique finally gets a shot off, but he shoots a long rebound, and Kevin Willis comes up because Oakley had inside position. Now if Dominique were to get the ball and square up, good reaction. If you get the ball and square up, then he could see the double team, and he could cut down the effectiveness of it. But they're getting the ball, they're not squaring up, and sort of looking over his shoulder. Well, if you look over his shoulder, you're going to miss half the guys out there.
Does Kevin Willis have the look as though he is here for business tonight? 28 points. We said he only has 4 rebounds, but he has been really effective scoring on the key baskets tonight. Important to the right time. 97-94 Atlanta. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in the ball game. Jordan. Rollins blocking the shot, but he gets it.
I think on Kevin Levingston.
Could be.
Levingston, I believe.
In fact, it is Levingston.
It's Tip Levingston. Yes, he got him on the baseline there, I believe. Right there. That's the one they called. Yes, he kind of got him a little bit. And then tried to hide. So it's me.
Oakley will have to have a transfusion. They've about got his uniform off of him there. And you should see the left side of Mike McGee's face. The blood's dripping down, as we mentioned before, like a boxer cutting the ring. It's been a physical, bruising defensive game between the 2 best defensive teams in the NBA in terms of points allowed per game.
And
bring them for one.
that's the kind of game we have here. It's a very low scoring game.
97-96. Hawks with the ball. 2:20 remaining.
You almost have to score every time down in a game like this because they're not going to give you very much to work with. So you got to try to get inside so you get at least a free throw.
Banks pounding Wilkins off the glass. Incredible shot by Dominique.
You know, you play good defense and the guy does that to you, and you say, well, the coach doesn't even say anything to you about that.
Wilkins with 21. 3-point Atlanta lead. Under 2 minutes remaining. You see it in the lower right of the screen.
But the important thing is to make those kind of shots to win.
Now it's Jordan's turn. Big miss. Chicago controls.
Now that's one thing you can't do. If you work real hard and get a guy like that to miss a shot and then turn around and let him get the rebound, that's no good.
Paxson taking a 3-pointer, probably ill-advised in my opinion. Hawks control.
Jump ball.
There's a fumble. We don't know who recovered it yet.
It's like no one knew who to pass the ball to because
Oakley has a sore right knee. Let's hope it's not seriously hurt. Look at it again, Bill.
Let's take another look at it and see this scrambling under here. Like Glenn Rivers has, he can't control it. Now Tree Rollins comes up with it, I think. Let's see. No, Mike McGee, and he passes the Tree. I don't know why. I guess he says, I'll get rid of it. I don't want it.
1:24 to go in the ball game. Hawks leading by 3, 99-96.
And Oakley is still showing the effects of that blow to the knee.
Bruised looked like his right knee. I think he's going to be all right. He'll be jumping against Kevin Willis.
See, that's if it's a bruise, you can play with pain, but you can't play injured.
Looked like he hit it on the floor during the battle as opposed to twisted it under
right,
his
if
body.
you twisted that, now that would be an injury. And if you get a bruise, that's just painful.
This has been some ball game in terms of the bumps and bruises here tonight.
What I like about the way the games are played in the NBA now is that every night you go out and see a game, and you see the guys working hard at it.
Rollins wins the tip. 99-96, Hawks by 3, 1:20, and they have possession of the ball.
And this time of the year, except for the playoffs, is the best basketball that's played. Because every team has developed what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. And they're not so tired. They've gotten over that mid-season tiredness so that they're playing good basketball. Both teams are.
Foul away from the ball. Gene Banks was holding Dominique Wilkins, and Banks now has 5.
Now, Gene is grimacing, but now here's a foul here. Now he's saying, I didn't do anything. You know why he's saying that? He's been doing it all night.
So
and he says, well, why are you calling it now?
1:06 to go in the ball game. Wilkins with his 22nd point. Jordan with 29.
Now, if Banks could see that play in replay, he said, yeah, I fouled him. But now, there's no way you can convince him that he fouled him. He'll be thinking about that call for 3 days. Do you believe that call that the guy made on me?
Now the Bulls are getting into 3-point situation as they trail by 5.
Now they got to call that one.
Jordan will go to the line.
As Rick would say, they join the Paratrooper Club. And when you join the Paratrooper Club, Rick says you must pay.
And Mike McGee is the member and picks up his 4th, and Jordan goes to the line. So the
that?
Bulls are going to get a couple of points here without any time running off the clock, trailing by 5.
Now, you got a guy like Michael Jordan. As great as he is, he's deadly going to his right. Make him beat you going to his left.
Fratello talked to the Hawks about that just this very morning.
Well, that doesn't do any difference. See the white line that borders the court?
Yes.
Well, when the players step over that, a fever strikes them, and they can't remember anything you told them sometimes 3 seconds ago.
And you know that from your coaching experience. 55 seconds remaining. Hawks 101. Chicago 98.
Now, this could be a very important possession if the Hawks score. Does that change the game if they don't score?
10 seconds on the clock. Wilkins leaning in off the glass. Dominique Wilkins. Timeout. Atlanta. 38 seconds remaining. Hawks lead by 5, going for win number 7 in a row. Their longest win streak of the year. The Hawks opened the season 5-0. Sellout crowd at the Omni.
Now here's Dominique leaning in there. Boy, that's body control. And you know, he never once took his eye off the target. Let's take another look at it from another angle. Now, if you watch his face, you see he never takes his eye off the target.
It appears, Bill, as if Dominique Wilkins changed directions while he was in the air. It looked as though he was going to go straight to the basket toward Corzine, and he just wiggled right around it.
That's one of the things that the great players can do. I know that Elgin Baylor had that quality, that he go for the basket, and you think he's going to charge, he go right around you.
Indiana with a victory over Utah tonight. Of course, Indiana in the running for the final playoff spot in the Eastern Division. Utah on that grueling road trip. Milwaukee leading Phoenix in the third quarter. Milwaukee, of course, in the battle in the Central Division. A couple of NBA scores. By the way, Charlie Neal will have all the scores for you immediately following.
Now, the reason Dominic was open on that play, Banks went to help out to double team. And it left that one slight opening. And Dominique was squared up so he could see what was going on.
We were talking about those Eastern Conference standings, and you see Indiana is down there in 8th place for the 8 playoff teams, and that win tonight over Utah was very important for them. The Hawks, if they hold on, will go to 40 wins. Chicago could go to 33 should they come back here in the final 37 seconds. But Boston way out in front there. Then it's, in a sense, everybody else. Here's the Western Division, the Western Conference standings, and the Lakers are way out there. Then Dallas, the Atlanta Hawks will be playing at Dallas Friday night here on the Superstation.
The Lakers may have clinched the playoff spot already.
I'd say there's a chance that we'll see the Lakers in postseason action. You wouldn't have known it from talking to Pat Riley the other day, though.
Oh, no, he cries all the way to the win column.
103-98. Hawks by 5. 34 seconds to go in the game. Bulls have to score from three-point range. Jordan missing. Paxson. Corzine.
Three-pointer.
Look what I found. Put the nail in the coffin. Wilkins.
And the foul's going to be called on Paxson.
It is, in fact. 19
Jordan was trying to steal from behind.
And barring the miracle, the Atlanta Hawks will keep their win streak alive with 7 in a row.
No miracles tonight.
Don't see any. The scoring battle of the proportions that were seen here December 10th when Wilkins got 57 and Jordan got 41 did not develop tonight. Jordan did play a very complete game, however.
That's because both teams now are playing better basketball. That's what I alluded to a couple minutes ago. That's why you don't see, when these two teams play, you won't see that very often.
19 seconds remaining in the game. Oakley for 3, and he gets it. It's 105-101 with 15 seconds in the game, and Rivers will go to the line. As we start thinking about our player of the game, you know, I would have bet the mortgage coming in here it would be Wilkins or Jordan, possibly Willis, possibly Oakley, and there's obviously in the running. Doc Rivers tonight has had a heck of a game. He's double figures assist again, 21 points. I don't know, Bill. It's going to be a tough choice here tonight. Oakley, look at Oakley, 25 points, 19 rebounds, 4 assists. He's had a good ball. But the Hawks are on the right side of the scoreboard in terms of the important statistic.
If he doesn't make this, he needs this.
He needs this for the balloting from the West Coast.
He also needs it to put the game away.
And gets it. Doc Rivers makes it.
Now take a 3 and a 2 to tie.
There is a timeout. 14 seconds remains in the ball game. Well, we said Oakley and Willis would be key players in the game, and Oakley, on the paper, looks as though he really has man-to-man outplayed Kevin Willis. Willis has 28, Oakley has 25, but Oakley has 19 rebounds to Willis's 5. However, as we pointed out again, the Atlanta Hawks have the lead. As I look at the statistics, it's hard to say why the Hawks have the lead over the Bulls here tonight. The Bulls have balanced scoring. The free throws have gone the Hawks' way. A few points.
Well, you see, within a game, there's a certain amount of scoring to be had against the defense. And the Hawks have had a little too much firepower. Now, you know, Jordan is down a little bit, but Oakley kind of made up that difference. But after that, Banks has had a good job. But after that, you have nobody from the Hawks that can really filling it up. Now, you had a couple of three-point shots by McGee. You have an excellent game by Rivers. You got an outstanding offensive game by Kevin Willis. And then Dominique made a couple of important shots.
And the Hawks played tough inside tonight. Of course, they have a reputation of doing that. Just a moment here to remind you to tune in the sports page on Sunday night at 11 o'clock Eastern Time with Nick Charles and Charlie Neal. They'll review the week in sports every Sunday night.
And one other small item. The Hawks have made the free throws.
Yes, they have. The Hawks have been very effective at the free throw line. Wilkins, as a matter of fact, we talk about Dominique Wilkins, who had, until the last about 3.5 minutes of the quarter, had no points in the fourth quarter, and now he has 10, and of those 10, 6 have come from the line. There, look at some of the stats on the Jordan Wilkins matchup tonight. Jordan's going to win the statistical battle, but Wilkins' team may win the game, and that's been the story for Michael Jordan a lot this year, although the Bulls are vastly improved over last season and will definitely be in the playoffs. Stolen by Willis. Good night. 108-101. Hawks by 7, 10 seconds remaining. Corzine will close the point spread and make it a 5-point Hawk win as the clock will wind out. And this one is history at the Omni. The Atlanta Hawks have won 7 in a row, and the season series between these two teams tied at 2. Bill Russell and I will be back to name the player of the game, but first we're going back to the studios in Atlanta. Charlie Neal, he'll have an update on all the NBA action tonight. We'll go right after this.
TBS sports coverage of the NBA has been brought to you by Renault and Jeep, official vehicles of the NBA, and by Miller High Life. Miller, made the American way since 1855. And by Delta Airlines, over 39,000 professionals serving more than 100 cities in the U.S. and overseas. Delta gets you there with care.
This is Charlie Neal in Atlanta. You just saw Atlanta beat Chicago 108-103. 7th straight win for the Hawks. That is their longest win streak of the season. They also only had 7 as their longest win streak a year ago. It is also the current longest winning streak in the NBA, and it's tied them with Detroit for the Central Division lead. Now let's update you on the rest of the night's action in the NBA. First of all, in Indiana tonight, Pacers trailed by 10, started the fourth quarter. John Long scored 12 straight points. Pacers took the lead. Long finished with 42 points, too shy of his career high of 44. Pacers win 107-102 over Utah, and the 29th win of the year for the Pacers. They're 1 away from 30. They have not won 30 games since 1982. And Phoenix is trailing Milwaukee 100-94. If the Bucks win, they move to within 2 of Detroit and Milwaukee in the Central Division. And Lakers beat Clippers, or will meet the Clippers. That game will be starting in just a moment. Now let's go back to the Omni, to Bob and Bill for the light player of the game.
Thank you, Charlie Neal. Might mention that the Atlanta Hawks are now tied for the Central Division lead with Detroit, and Bill will be in New York tomorrow night when the Detroit Pistons play the New York Knicks. Bill will be there with Skip Carey, so that seesaw battle in the Central Division will go on tomorrow night with the Pistons having a shot. Now it's time to announce our player of the game. Our Miller Lite player of the game is Doc Rivers, who finished with 22 points, 11 assists, 2 steals, 4 rebounds, and I might mention, Bill, he played some pretty fair defense tonight.
He had an excellent game, made good penetration when they needed it, and showed real leadership quality when you need it going down the stretch.
When he went out of the ballgame with foul troubles late in the ballgame and Gus Williams had to come in, the Bulls almost made the return. Mike Fratello made a smart decision, even though Rivers had 5 fouls, got him right back in the ballgame, and that's when he and the Hawks took over.
Well, he's one of the players that can play with 5 fouls, and they're the team leaders have to be able to play with foul when they have foul trouble, and he's one of the guys that's doing it. And that's why this is a real excellent Atlanta Hawks basketball team.
Bill Russell's great working with you tonight. You'll be with Skip tomorrow night in New York. Rick and I will be in Dallas for the Atlanta Hawks Dallas Mavericks on Friday. So on behalf of Miller Lite, Turner Broadcasting proud to donate $1,000 to the Multiple Sclerosis Foundation in the name of tonight's player of the game, Glenn Doc Rivers of the Atlanta Hawks. On behalf of our excellent TBS sports crew and Bill Russell, this is Bob Neal from the Omni in Atlanta. So long, everybody.